Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is Things I've Learned with OG.Topson's Carry Riki in 720. So before we start this video, I just want to say that I'm surprised Topson is one of the few players that experimented with Magnus plus Riki in this patch. The hero was a beast when Battle Fury and Creep Gold was easier to come by, but even after all the nerfs, I'm sure the hero is still pretty solid. To be fair, I'm not that surprised that Topson was the one to try it out, since if you check his Dota buff profile, you will see how rarely he actually repeats heroes. So Riki did get some small buffs, but his biggest problem, the laning stage, is still there. Topson tried to form a lane that was pushing while his support pulled, and he gets taken out. One big thing that I noticed watching Topson play is how he uses his Blink Strike in the laning stage versus the Pangolier. Most players just use it as soon as the fight begins, but look at this play. Radiant dives his support, and yeah, maybe he could have killed one of the heroes faster, but they already are not facing him, so he's dealing full damage with the passive. By waiting to use Blink Strike, he makes sure he gets a double kill at the end, in case Pango manages to get another skill off in the fog or whatever. We can see the same concept being used in this fight. Lane is pushing very aggressively towards Radiant, and look how he never commits the Blink Strike. By waiting it out, he can then engage through the Shard block, getting the kill, and ultimately surviving. Since he doesn't have a TP, he goes all the way around and takes to a clutch salve from the Lion. He can actually dive the Tusk and get another kill. With Wraith Bands giving more agility, HP regen and mana regen, this hero getting a tiny more move speed and the Blink Strike being shorter cooldown, Topson actually owns the laning stage. Once again, we see how he never uses his W until Pango swashbuckles, and this is a great start for him already. Now, one thing that people usually think about when they are talking about Carry Riki is that the hero is too slow, he cannot do anything until he has the Fusel Blade, and that takes a long time. He farms jungle pretty terribly as well, but in this game we have a Magnus, and that is a core and I guess integral part of the success Topson had with the hero in this game. Despite all that though, what surprises me in this game is his 7-minute TP to the bottom lane. While Riki is not the greatest rotation hero, when you pair that with Empower and a stun, things can change drastically. Another thing to mention is that he just killed the Tusk and he sees the Tusk going back, so maybe he felt like he TP'd mid, dropped a ward and went back top, and maybe that's a huge window of opportunity for the bottom lane gank to work. You can see that the gank took a while to work, and the assumption that Tusk TP'd was wrong. He just had Tranquil, so he was pretty fast, but even then, the response was too slow and they get the kill. After that kill, Topson goes for quite the quirky play. He moves forward, kills the range creep to draw aggro from the creeps. By doing this, he can pinpoint whether there are sentries at all in the lane. He has vision of two heroes top, so he doesn't fear a rotation since Luna died as well. Once the creeps get close to the tower and he knows there's no true side, he can then farm while the creeps take the tower. Battlefield Riki, while decent, always felt pretty awful in the sense that you had no agility, so even with the item, your jungle farming was at best mediocre. Since Riki can go double Wraith Band and he's going Diffusal Blade, look how fast he can farm. He even tries to TP and deny the tower here since both Luna and Pango had no dust, but once he TPs and gets vision of the Tusk, he gives up on it. Smokescreen as an ability got heavily nerfed before 720, it's all quite awful at level 1, but it's still an AoE silence. So look how Topson plays when he engages here. He doesn't commit the screen even though there's a lot of heroes there. 8% slow is not going to lock people for his ult, so he engages but never attempts to commit any skills. The ult ends up being a great way to survive for longer while wasting the Eclipse from the Luna, and once the RP comes through, note how the smokescreen acts as a barrier, allowing him to kill the Luna without any raises being used. And since the Shadow Fiend commits, Topson gets the experience from his death since he only dies because of the Death Requiem component. Once the Diffusal Blade gets ready, Topson starts hunting for kills. Pango is a hero that can probably survive the ult since the slow from Smokescreen is pretty shitty, and while he finds Shadow Fiend, he already completed the Scepter, so that's not a viable kill as well. And that's completely fine. With Empower, he farms super fast and he has enough damage already, so Aghanim Scepter is probably the best option he has. He has 3 Blink Dagger heroes and Grave available. Another thing that a lot of people forget about when we talk Ags is that you get a second scape with it. The cast range on the ult is pretty good and makes you even more slippery. Look at the damage Topson can output with Diffusal Blade alone. Another great buff that Riki got, that actually everyone got, is HP regen being way better when you get stats. Look at this replay from Matumba Man playing Riki in the old patch. If you went for a Diffusal Yasha build or no Battle Fury, you would have around 3 HP regen, while now you get about 7, which is a huge buff. This means you don't need the HP regen talent, and you can get the agility talent being even stronger and deadlier with Empower, allowing you to jungle without your stout shield, without fearing for your life at all. Topson kept farming the egg since he does it mega fast, and thanks to Empower, this is the first fight that unfolds. Being able to engage in a fight while still having your W to blink somewhere and having complete immunity while doing that is actually quite good. One of the many hurdles that this hero faced before was pushing, but in this patch, that matters way less, especially when you have Empower, and while Topson avoided the Shadow Fiend for most of the game, when he TPs here, knowing that his Lion is around, he can get that solo kill without ever committing his ult, and that's important because look what happens right after that. You can see that Topson was already trying to use the ult to disengage, but with this beautiful RP happening, he just enjoys the show. I'm not sure exactly how viable competitively this hero is, but he's definitely a pub stomper when you get a Magnus or any Blink Dagger heroes. While the Smokescreen talent is pretty dope, the synergy that Empower has with the crit is insane. You also don't need the silence as long as your RP lands, so I can see why he went for the crit route. With this Illusion Rune, they Roche, and I just wanted to comment on how beautifully executed this was. He tanks with one Illusion while using that to keep proccing Cloak and Dagger on the Roshan. And then he uses the other Illusion to scout, and once the Grave is off, he uses the second Illusion to finish the job, while always having only 2 heroes close to Roshan, so that the bash was avoided. Pretty good. The end result is a fairly quick game. I really appreciate that Magnus ended up going Vlad's because it frees Topson a lot while allowing him to fight super well. Guys, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to this video. As you all know, I'm trying to stream every day, and getting good viewership can allow me to actually become a Dota 2 talent. So I would really appreciate if you guys could follow me on Twitch. I also have a Patreon where you can get something in return while helping me get to this dream that I have. I have a Twitch, as I already talked about, where I cast and play Dota 2. I have a Twitter where I talk memes and Dota. And if you're into Instagram or Discord channel, you can find those in the description below. Thank you all for watching, guys. Bye.